All right. So for the next piece of information, what we're going to be looking at are and trying to find are relative maximums and minimums on the graph. So we just said if we sort of think of the graph as like a landscape or like an elevation map or something, right? You're sort of looking for peaks and valleys and plateaus. The plateaus aren't particularly maximums or minimums. What we're going to have is any sort of peak point is going to be a relative maximum for us, and any sort of valley, any low point, is going to be a relative minimum. Just shift up here in our notes. So this is sort of a relative, or sometimes we call this a local max. So this is the highest point in the surrounding neighborhood. This is a pretty vague definition. This is sort of a more kind of wordy type of definition. So this is going to be any sort of peak on the graph, and it's a relative maximum. It doesn't have to be the overall like highest possible point on the entire graph. That's what we would call an absolute maximum, which is not necessarily something we're going to be identifying. We're just looking for peaks and valleys. So similarly, if we do a relative or a local minimum, so this is the lowest point in the surrounding neighborhood. Don't forget to write with really nice handwriting. That got a little bit smudged up here. This word is surrounding, same as the word up here. So we're looking for any kind of low points, any kind of valleys in our graph. So relative max, relative min. We're not really labeling anything particularly specially for our plateau points, the areas where we're constant. Is not particularly anything important. Well, not that it's not important, but it's not something we're going to be sort of labeling. We'll just have those as intervals where we're constant. All right, so coming up next is an actual example from the graph.